I call Chris Farfoy.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to speak on this bill. Can I first begin in the fashion that many others have tonight and congratulate you on again being chosen to the Office of Parliament, and also to the new Minister concerned with this bill, and congratulate her on the Electronic Identity Verification Bill, a bill that Labor supports to the Select Committee stage. And it really is a bill that shows the sign of the times at the moment. The regulatory impact statement that comes with this bill shows that 2 years ago, in 2009, of those internet users in New Zealand, 46% of them have sought information about government agencies online, 35% of them had downloaded or completed a government form online, and 20% had made payments to the government online. So that was a couple of years ago, Mr. Speaker, so I'm sure that those numbers would have advanced somewhat in that time, and it just shows that a number of New Zealanders are now looking online to do their business with the government, and to make it as hassle-free and as streamlined as possible, not just for those who are the end users, but also for the government departments involved, we think is a very good thing. So it is going to be very useful for both Kiwis and government departments in the age of doing business online. We do think that for many of us who have dealt with constituents, they have felt it frustrating at times when dealing with government agencies, having to provide the same amount of information or varying amounts of information to certify or verify that they are who they are. And I think the previous speaker, Jonathan Young, was talking just a few minutes ago about the hundreds of thousands of cases of identity fraud with people dealing online. I think it may have been in relation to government departments, but if not, certainly there is still a lot of people who have encountered identity fraud of some description when they are using the internet. I think the real benefits of this is going to be with real Kiwis, with the end user, who will now no longer have to, as I said before, provide various forms of identification to, I think it is the 28 government departments that are using the iGovT database at the moment. I know from my own personal experience of being overseas and having to send information back to New Zealand to government departments that it was frustrating to have to deal with different government departments and their different systems of operating. So if we can have definitely one system where people can deal with a plurality of government departments, that will be good. Of course, it will save a fair amount of queuing for people out there who deal with their government departments, and it will make sure that those government agencies that are already using the Gov service can spread this out further, can push this out further to make sure we can find efficiencies. And that's what we really do want, efficiencies both for the public and also for the government departments, especially in these very difficult times. There will be things that we will be watching very closely though, of course, around security. There must be absolute confidence from the public that this service or this database will be secure, and I notice that there are some serious parts of this bill around punishment for any offences that may be caused. I think it's a sentence of no less than 10 years and $250,000 fine for anyone who's caught misusing the information. So we think that is a good move in this bill. And also a point that Ruth Dyson made earlier, that we want to make sure that Kiwis still do have the avenue to have some face-to-face contact if they either don't have the confidence to use the internet, or they don't have the confidence in the system, or that they don't have the use of the internet readily available for them. So we do want to make sure that this is not moving towards the internet or online being the only option for people to interact with their government departments. We still want to make sure that there is a friendly face behind the counter for when people are interacting with the agencies such as Work and Income, such as Housing, and other agencies that are involved in the system. Also, Ruth Dyson pointed out that New Zealand Post will be the lead agency for collecting the information and for taking photos. I understand for this legislation. We know that one move by New Zealand Post at the moment is to downsize their outlets and to reduce the number of outlets. So we hope that there's going to be the appropriate amount of resourcing in our New Zealand Post stores to make sure that these stores, which I think pretty much already run off their feet, have the ability to service the people who are coming into their stores to make sure that they can get that work done. And also a point made by Ruth Dyson is some security around the future of New Zealand Post, especially around at the time that the current government is looking at asset sales would be beneficial for all New Zealanders. But in terms of making sure they're streamlining services, we do welcome the moves that are made to help our government departments and making sure that we have efficiencies within them, making sure those people who are supposed to be serving the public have more time to be able to meet their duties to the public when they're coming to them. Again, public confidence in the system is going to be paramount. We do note that there are safeguards within this legislation for wrongful sharing of information, especially at a time when internet safety, internet piracy is in the headlines. We want to make sure that the security around the system is 100%. It's also been noted the involvement of the Privacy Commissioner. That is also a welcome move in this legislation to make sure that they can request the Chief Executive of the Department of Internal Affairs for a report if there are any concerns around privacy and the security of the information that is being held on the database, because we are talking about very sensitive information, family information that is being held on these databases, and for it to get in the hands of the wrong agencies or to be misused by a staff member in an agency would be a tragedy. Mr. Speaker, we do support this legislation through to the committee stage. It has been a piece of work that has been a long time coming, but we do welcome it and we will support it through select committee stage.
Thank you. Call Nikki Kay.
Mr. Speaker, I'm very pleased to support this electronic